missing someone. Love is all you want.
Hi guys, welcome to French Fluent. Finally I'm back with the Passé Composé part 2. So the first video is quite important, guys. If you haven't watched that video, you have to watch it and come back to this, otherwise you're not going to understand a word in this. Okay, yeah, so watch that video. I'll leave the link in the description. Or before I start teaching today's topic, I want to give a very quick recap through which you won't understand much, but if you have learnt the thing, the previous video properly, the topics that I taught in the previous video properly, you will kind of relate to me and understand what I'm saying. So watch that video and come back here. So yeah, I'm gonna give the recap of what I actually did in that video. So first I told you that passé composé is past tense in French. So how do you write a verb in French? That's you have to write in two words. Okay, so you can't write it in like a single word, and you can't say that's the past tense of the verb. You have to write it in a compound. That means you have to write it in two separate words. The first word is called the auxiliary verb, and the second word is called the past participle. Now the first word will either be avoir or être conjugated in the present tense. So now almost 90% of the verbs have avoir in the present tense as the first word. Okay, the second word will be the past participle. So I had given a method to find the past participle of verbs which have avoir, okay, as their auxiliary. After that method, I even told you that there are many naughty verbs which don't follow the generic method, and they have their own rules. So for those irregular verbs, you have to by heart them. It's given on in your textbook. You have to shift to the page number 45. Page numbers can be different, but this is the list that I was talking about. These are all irregular verbs. Okay, so here you can't apply the rules that I taught you. Here you have to by heart them. For example, for avoir it is you, for battre it is battu, for boire it's bu. So you have to by heart them, okay, as their past participles. So remaining verbs which are not given in this list, they are all obedient people. So you can apply the rules that I had given in that I taught you, and find the past participle. Okay, so today so I told you 90% of the verbs have this avoir. Okay, and out of the millions of verbs in French, I don't know how many verbs are there in French, but yeah, like out of so many verbs in French, only freaking 16 verbs have être as their auxiliary. Okay, so it's either avoir or être. 90% of them have avoir as their auxiliary, but there are 16 verbs which have être as their auxiliary. So we're going to see those 16 verbs today, and and I'll give you a short trick that everybody follows to learn these 16 verbs. So whenever in the question, so now in your exam, mostly how it will be is they will give all sorts of random verbs. Okay, so you have to know, first thing you have to decide is whether you have to use avoir as the auxiliary or you have to use être as the auxiliary. Okay, so if that verb comes under these 16 words that I'm going to tell you right now, then you have to use être. Okay, if that verb doesn't come in this list, then obviously it's understood it's avoir conjugation, so you have to put avoir as the auxiliary. But remember guys, past participle for avoir, not all verbs have the participle by, you can't find the past participle of all the verbs by doing that thing that I told you, the rules that I told you. You have to see whether if the verb is a irregular verb or an irregular verb. Okay, so if it's irregular, you have to go to your brain and pick up the word that you had by hearted from that list. If it's not irregular, if you feel that you haven't seen this verb in that list that I showed you, then you have to apply the rules. So anyways, today I'm going to talk about those 16 verbs out of the whole number of French verbs. So don't mind my dirty whiteboard, it's almost becoming black, but anyways, don't have to focus on that. I'll try cleaning it later. So what have I written on this whiteboard? Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. What the hell is this? So actually this is a abbreviation. You have to write, if you expand this, you will get 16 verbs, okay? And those 16 verbs are the verbs that take être as their auxiliary. So first of all, you can check if it has 16 verbs, letters. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 16 verbs, okay? So now this is a word that will help you remember those 16 verbs, okay? So now I'm going to tell you guys what each letter stands for. So I'll just tell you once by word, and then I'll later write it down. This is in your textbook also, okay? This is also in your textbook. So first, D stands for descendre. R stands for rentre. M stands for monter. R stands for rester. S stands for sortir. V stands for venir. A stands for aller. N stands for naître. D again stands for devenir. E stands for entrer. R stands for revenir. T stands for tomber. R stands for retourner. A stands for arriver. M stands for mourir. And P stands for partir. And to be I don't know. And one more thing is that there's actually another P, and this means passé. This stands for passé, okay? So now I'm going to write it down and show you guys so that you understand better. So yeah, guys, 2 minutes of silence for my broken arms. I had to erase the board around 3 times and rewrite this around 4 times because of continuous disturbances in my house. So anyways, if you guys feel bad for me, please subscribe, okay? Like, I'm doing a lot of hard work. Anyways, okay, now I'll just tell you the meanings of the verbs quickly. So D, descendre means to descend. Rentrer means to not to return. Return means retourner. Rentrer means to come back, okay? Monter means to climb. Rester means to stay. Sortir means to go out. Venir means to come. Aller means to go. This is to go out. This is just to go. Naître is to be born. Devenir is to become. Entrer is to enter. Revenir is to come back. Tomber is to fall. Retourner is to return. Arriver is to arrive. Mourir is to die. Partir is to leave, and passer is to pass. Now there's a story for this, so just concentrate on these verbs till here, okay? So now we know the meanings. I've told you everything about this. Learn their present tense conjugations also. You would have learnt them, but learn them. So now we are seeing the past tense conjugation of these verbs. These naughty verbs follow être as their auxiliary. So when you conjugate them, the first, as I told you, past tense will have 2 words. One is the auxiliary and one is the past participle. So the auxiliary for these 16 verbs will be être in the present tense. So according to the subject, you have to write the conjugation of être. So if suppose the subject is je, you have to write suis. Okay, you can't put avoir conjugation here. You have to put être conjugation here. Okay, these 16 verbs, and put their past participle. Now I told you to find the past participle of regular verbs in avoir. I told you how to find. I gave a rule for just to remind you. For re verbs, remove the re and put u. For ir verbs, remove the r and just leave it as it is. I taught like all such sorts of rules, and then find it, okay? So you have to look at the first video for that, the old video, the previous video. But here you have to by heart the list again. So there is a list given on your textbook itself. So please flip to that page, by heart the past participles, and there is one additional job you have to do over here, okay? So firstly, I'll show you guys the list, this yellow box that you see here. Yeah, so this box and here the past participles have been given. For descendre it is descendu. For rentrer it's rentré. For Monte, it's Monte with an accent. So see, notice everything. And yeah, if you guys want like a printout or something, you can search it up. So here, this again, you have to by heart the past participle of these 16 verbs, okay? But there's one additional task you have to do. So I'll come back to this. So all my hard work has to go back. I'm going to erase this whole thing. Yeah. Yes. So I've erased it. Again, my arms are aching, but it's okay. So let's come back to the conjugation. Now let's go do an example so that you guys can understand. So je. Okay. So now je. So now let's get to an example. So je dash dash. So dash dash means we are going to conjugate a verb in past tense. So since we are doing it in past tense, we know there are going to be two words. So here in this video, I'm going to deal with those verbs which take être. If you want to see the verbs that I'm which deal with avoir, again see the video. I'm telling this for the fourth or fifth time. Okay, so see the previous video and then yeah. So now here être we are doing. Okay, so obviously since we are doing être, the auxiliary is going to be être. Okay, so je. So for je, how will you conjugate être in present tense? Suis, right? So I hope you guys know the present tense conjugation of être. It's taught in like freaking grade 5. But anyways, I'll just tell it to you. It's je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Okay? So here this je, so I'm putting present tense of être. Okay? Now the first auxiliary part is complete. Now the second part is participle. Now suppose in the exam they tell you to conjugate the verb descendre. Okay, they will tell you what verb to conjugate. Now you're going to conjugate that verb. So now you're going to conjugate descendre, and now what are you going to do? You have to put the descendre ka past participle. As I told you, there's no method to find the past participle and then do it. You have to by heart them. So in the list I can see descendre, so you have to by heart this list. Okay, I'm showing it again. So in this list it's written that descendre takes the past participle descendu. So I'm just going to copy it down. Okay, so it says that descendre takes the past participle descendu. So I've written that. Now one additional job here you have to do is, suppose the subject is a girl, a female, not a girl, a female. Okay, so now since I am writing this, I am a female, so I can't write je suis descendu. I have to put an e. Because why am I putting this e? Because I am a female and je means I. So I am a female. So since I am a female, female verbs, subjects will take an e. Alright. So I'll give more clarity now. Suppose you're a boy and you're listening to this, you're a boy, you don't have to write this. Okay, now I'll change the subject so that you understand better. So now suppose the subject was L. So here suis won't come because you can't use suis. You have to conjugate être in the present tense of present tense and in the L form. So L ka être would be a, est. Okay. Now what happens? Now here L means it's a girl who's writing. You're talking about a girl, female. Okay, this is female. So since this is female, the subject, the participle should have an e. Okay. Suppose if it was il. Suppose if the subject was il, then you don't have to put any sort of e in that. So here the main problem in être is you have to change the past participle according to the subject. Okay, now you know for masculine you have to put an no need to do anything, but for feminine you have to put an e. Okay, now for plural, so nous and vous are plural, il and ils and els are also plural. So anyways, nous sommes. Okay, this will change into nous sommes. Now here what will you do? Here you have to put an s because it is plural. Okay, so now I need to clarify something very very important. Now in this, nous means what? Nous means we, right? Now we means it's a group. That means I am also included in that. Okay, so now if you talk about a group of girls, fully there's a group of girls, only and only girls, like a girls party or something, there are only going to be girls, right? So here if there are girls, you have to put es. Okay, e means it's female, because the group of, if suppose it's a group of girls, you have to put es. And if it's a single girl, obviously you have to just put e, but here it's plural and it is feminine, so that's why we're putting e and s. Suppose even if one boy is there in this group, no, even if one boy is there in this group, this whole group of girls won't be called group of girls, it would be called group of boys. This is the funny thing in French, okay, this would be considered as a group of boys, okay. So there again you don't have to put es and all, you have to put s only, okay. So if in the exam, if they give, particularly if they give a group of complete girls or group of girls, or les femmes, if they say les femmes means the ladies, so here you are not going to see any boys here, okay. So here you have to put descendu participle, I mean the participle will have an e and an s. But if it's a party, obviously, now if they say a party or something, obviously there will be men or something like that, so there you don't have to put es, you have to just put an s. Since it is plural, you have to put s, but don't put e, because even if one boy is there in that group, na, they will consider it as a group of boys only, so there you don't have to put s, okay. Now suppose if it is a group full of boys, then you don't have to put s, you have to just simply put descendu with an s if it's a group of boys, okay. So if you guys don't understand, I can just make a small, very very small video on this, just to explain this particular thing, if you guys want. So just drop it in the comments, even if one comment comes, I'm going to make that video. So yeah, make sure you ask out for your help, okay. So this is the funny thing about Passé Composé, okay. Now this problem comes only when it is nous and vous. Now for ils and elles, where's my duster, okay. So for ils and elles, ils means it's a group of boys only, so there you have to use descendu. So here it's a group of boys, so I'm not going to add e. I'm sure that there is not even a single girl in this, fully boys, so I'm going to use s only, because it's plural, I'm putting s, okay. If so here else, so here it means only full girls are there, okay, in that group, in that plural place, plural group, only girls are there. So I'm going to first, since it's feminine, I'm going to put an e, and since it's plural, I'm going to put an s, okay. So again, if you want clarity, I will explain it to you in another video, because here it's getting late, so I need to wind up quickly. So this was about that. So now you might have a small doubt. Will verbs that have the past participle that ends in e, for example, aller's past participle ends in e. Can you see here? This is the past participle of aller, okay. It's given in this yellow box. So here, if it is feminine, will you put an e here? Yes, you will. Yes, you have to, okay. And suppose even if the past participle is ending in an I, again you have to put e only, or s, okay. If it's plural, you have to put s. If it's feminine plural, you have to put es. If it's masculine, you have to just put e. No, you don't have to put anything. If it's masculine plural, you have to put s, okay. So that was about it. So this was the small rule that you have to do. Now I told you there's a story for passé, okay. So I had circled that verb passé. So passé means two things, okay. Passé means to pass, okay. Now we can we can use this verb for two things. One is to pass an object. Pass me this pen, pass me this marker, you can say that. Or you can use it to pass by a place. I passed by my teacher, or I passed by the train, I passed by or even a place, for example, I passed by the church, I passed by the shop, anything, okay. So there are two meanings: to pass by a place, and to pass by an to pass an object, to pass an object. So to pass a thing to someone, and to pass by a place. So to pass by a place, so now when you're using the verb to pass by a place, you use être as the auxiliary. Être as auxiliary. To pass an object, then you will use avoir as the auxiliary. Okay, so we will do more questions on this. Okay, so yeah, let's see. So here I have got two sentences. Okay, first sentence is mes parents sortir et mes amis venir jouer. Okay, so venir was these questions are from Rapalon on page number 57. The page number may vary. In my book it may be different, in your book it might be different. So it's in the first exercise. Okay, so the first exercise, question number 4. So mes parents sortir et mes amis venir jouer. Okay, so my parents go out and my friends come to play. Okay, so here now you're going to convert this into past tense. So first let's do the first verb, mes parents. Okay, just copy this down, and now mes parents means it will be your father, okay, and it will be your mother, right? Don't mind my drawing. Okay, it might be your father and it might be your mother, right? So it's plural, definitely, because there are two people, so it's plural, it's not singular. And one more thing you have to see here, it's a group, okay, and in that there is a father in this, that means there is a male. So I told you, in a group, even if there is one boy, it is considered as a group of boys. Okay, it's considered as a group of boys. So here it is going to be, first of all, sortir. First of all, let me tell about sortir. Sortir is conjugated in être, because remember that Dr. Mrs. Van der Tramp. So in that, S stands for sortir in that. Dr. Mrs. MRS, Mrs. So in that, sortir is in the list. Okay, so sortir is one of those 16 verbs which is conjugated with être as the auxiliary. So first let's write the auxiliary. Okay, so mes parents present tense auxiliary would be sont, plural. Okay, now I'm going to write the past participle of sortir. So past participle of sortir is given as sorti, but it is a group, so I have to put an S. And even though there is a girl in this group, since there is a boy in this group, it is considered as male group. Okay, so in a male group you don't have to put E. Okay, since it's a group you have to put S. So here I'm not going to put ES, I'm just going to put S over here. Okay, understood? And et mes amis venir jouer. Okay, now see the rest of the sentence, mes amis venir jouer. Okay, so now mes amis, can you see now? I think you guys know the difference between ami and ami, right? This means a group of boyfriends, I mean guy friends, not boyfriends, group of friends who are boys. Okay, and ami with IES means group of girls, girlfriends. Okay, friends who are girls. Okay, I'm not talking about any other meaning. So here what is it given? AMIS, that means it's a group of boys. Okay, it's a group because it shows it's S, and it is group of boys because there's no E in it. So I'm going to conjugate it now. And venir, again for your information, check in the Dr. Mrs. Van der Tramp, check if venir is there in that. Yes, venir is there. So venir is also conjugated with être as the auxiliary. So first let me put the auxiliary. The auxiliary would be sont again, and the past participle. So now venue is the past participle, and I'm going to add, what am I going to add? S. I'm not putting ES. Why I'm not putting ES? Because it's a group of boys. If suppose the sentence was AMIS, okay, if it was AMIES, then I would have put venue. Okay, but here I'm not putting it because it's AMIS. That means it's a group of boys, so that means it's a masculine group. So masculine, you don't have to put any E, so it's a group, so that's why I'm putting S. Okay, so now the second sentence. Now elle devenir is the verb, elle partir pour la France. Okay, so now elle devenir, devenir again comes in the list, so we're going to use être. Okay, so elle, and I'm going to put the present tense of être over here. It would be A. Okay, now elle is female. First let's write the past participle of devenir. It is devenu. Check in the list, all these informations are given in the list. So now L A, can you see it here? Yeah, L A Avenue. Okay, so now it's female and singular, so I don't have to, it's singular, so I don't have to put an S over here. Okay, but it is female, so I'm going to put an E over here. Understood? So since the subject is a female, I'm putting E over here. Okay, now next thing is Elle partir pour la France. So L dash dash pour la France, and we're supposed to use partir. Okay, so partir again comes in the 16 verbs. It is one of the 16 verbs. Okay, Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. Okay, the P stands for partir. So first, être, conjugation in singular in present tense I've done. Okay, auxiliary part is complete. Now I have to go to the participle part. Participle part, what am I going to put here? I'm going to put partir's past participle. So it is given as parti in the list. Okay, partir's past participle is parti with no R. L is feminine. Okay, so I'm going to put an E. But suppose if the question was ELLES, I should have put an S also. But here it is singular in the question, so I am not putting any sort of S. It is singular feminine, so I am putting just an E. Okay, so this was about it, guys. This was the thing, and actually there are a lot of questions in your textbook which will which are very confusing. So try doing all those exercises, and I'm planning to do a video just for the exercises of past tense. Okay, so in your exam they will give all the verbs in a mixed way. Okay, so you have to decide if its auxiliary is avoir or its auxiliary is être, and if its auxiliary is avoir, is it regular or irregular. If it is regular, you have to do the general method and find the participle, and if it is irregular, you have to go to that list, that big list that is given, and learn from, by hearted ones. You would have by hearted that, right? So you have to remember which one that does that verb take, and if it is taking être as the auxiliary, then you have to learn this yellow list that is there. Okay, so this all these things you have to take care of. Okay, so I will definitely do another video in which I take different verbs and do their past participle, so that you understand this. Okay, so right now just learn these and do the exercises that are given in your textbook. Okay, so that's all, guys. I hope you like this video. If you didn't, if you did like it, please like and share this video with your friends, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Okay, subscribe and take care. Bye.